We're moving from the pharmaceutical industry straight to housing, and housing sales have moderated during the quarter, but developers continue to launch new projects and prices remained firm across markets. The key question, though, is whether festive demand can revive momentum in the second half of the year. Varsha joining in to get us some data before we have a conversation with Onkar Shetye from Aurum Proptech. Varsha.
Well, overall, we've seen top 8 cities housing sales fall almost 6.1% year on year, and the sales have seen decline of around 4.4% quarter on quarter as well. A pre-monsoon seasonality have impacted demand. Cautious home buyer sentiment weighs on sales, but Q2 FY26 comparison against a strong base of 674 units. Now also onto the new launches, because that's what an excitement area is, because developers have launched 89,161 units during the quarter. New launches, if you see, rose 6% year on year, but have declined 4.2% quarter on quarter, while developers continue adding supply despite softer sales. Onto the outlook, that's Q3 FY27 outlook. If you see, festive season demand is expected to support sales. Infrastructure development will aid housing demand, and startup hiring expected to remain supportive, and outlook remain cautiously optimistic when it comes to overall developments.
Okay, the cautiously optimistic comes after the not so optimistic data as well. Onkar Shetye, Executive Director at Aurum Proptech, joining in on the conversation this morning. Onkar, thank you so much for your time. Just take us through the highlights of this report, and on the face of it, it sounds a little worrying for the real estate industry.
We should not be too pessimistic about this. I would rather describe this as a moderation, not really a reversal in the housing cycle as such. We've actually come off several years of exceptional growths. So a 6% year-on-year moderation for the quarter needs to be looked at in that context. Also, what is promising is that the new launches remain consistent. The new launches remain robust. So that instills confidence in the developer launches. The other factor that we should be looking at is that this is more of a context that we can look at it from a seasonal weakness standpoint. Typically, this I would distinguish between the demand fatigue from a buyer selectivity that we are witnessing across all 8 cities. Q2 traditionally has been a pre-monsoon moderation quarter, and there's also added aspect of the geopolitical uncertainty. So typically, buyers have been cautious. They've been delaying. They've been looking for value rather than going in for a very impulsive kind of a purchase.
Okay. No, I like the way you've put it, that this is just a sort of pause in a longer trend. But the fact is that you've had top 8 cities housing sales falling 6.1% year on year, sales declining 4.4%, and you have new launches coming in. My question is that if we deep dive a little bit, which are the markets that seem to be relatively more sluggish right now?
So I would say the areas of concern seem to be two specific markets, which is if you look at housing sales, the market's stressed today and have had rapid price appreciation and slowing sales velocity or new supply getting exceeded. Bengaluru is one market that we need to watch for. Pune has also seen that kind of a sharper fall in volumes. But in both, more importantly, new supply and sales have remained perfectly matched. Also, what needs to be looked at is from a structural or a fundamental behavior point of view for demand. The AI and impact on employment has been a key deciding factor in both these markets. Both markets typically behave a little differently. If you look at Bengaluru is more of a product city where there's a lot of product development that happens, and Pune that way is an ITES or a support operation for a lot of IT sector or IT companies. So the type of employment generated in both cities is also different. This is one area that we also are watching in very closely to see how that shapes up in from a demand standpoint.
Onkar, I do want to ask about pricing trends as you see it as well, because you've seen not necessarily cement, but the rest of construction costs have gone up. If you're talking about ceramic tiles, you're talking about metal, rebar prices, all of that has gone up. So what are the implications? How much of that is being passed on as we speak?
You're right, absolutely. I think the prices have been still rising, and it's a combination of multiple factors. I would rather bucket them into two different things. One is, of course, the cost of approvals has also now substantially gone up with various regulations. The time to get approvals, the carrying cost of the team, etc., adds up to that. Land has become extremely competitive with more and more organized, institutionalized, and listed developers eyeing for key micro markets, key pin codes, key locations. So that cost has also gone up. And subsequently, construction has also gone up, not just in terms of material, but also in terms of labor. There's fight for good quality labor supply across all developers, be it subcontractors, be it vendor partners. And one key competition has also been the nationalized employment schemes, which have also been driving the labor market away. So combination of all these factors is going to keep prices rising or consistently at that level, is our view.
Got it. Onkar, only one question from my end, really. Are a lot of people, I mean, what was predictable at the start of this cycle was that typically, even if it's 8 years, the first 3 or 4 years, things will be okay, and then we will see. We are now mid-cycle, admittedly, right? So therefore, the question really is, and by the way, there are some listings out there, and we should keep an eye out for them as well. Onkar, just hang on for a moment. But I just want to mark, because there's one more, which has actually gotten a reasonably strong listing out there. 33% uptake is what I see, right? And therefore, that is actually a good sign that we do have